Today we'll be talking about trust and design and how that relates when dealing with e-commerce stores. So we're coming up to Christmas and I've just done a search in Google for buy headphones. Now because I'm in Australia and because I'm logged into my Google account, I will be getting personalised search results, but you won't all get exactly the same as this. So if I was to go through and have a look at just a couple of the sites that I might want to buy from, the fact that they're ranking very high in Google says trust to a certain extent. And there are a whole bunch of ads here for various things, but I just wanted to choose a few stores. So one of the stores that's advertising is Surf Stitch. It says buy headphones, but I don't know why they've got a URL of clothing, so that's a little odd. When we go to the Surf Stitch site, for example, I'll just go back to this is the page that I actually landed on from Google. It's a very nice design. The colours are bright and light. It's set up in a grid system, so when design is done on a grid system, it makes it look neat and tidy. And neat and tidy usually translates to looking professional. And so with these guys, you can see they've got a 5-column grid system here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've got very consistent colours. So they're only using blue and black. And the combination of those two colours is quite modern. And then they've also got some modern images faded into the background here. The layout of the actual products is consistent, so those photos, if they're not taken from the manufacturers, they will have shot them themselves, and so they're very, very consistent. And so this design looks modern, and it looks like it's a site that I could shop from for my little brother to buy him some headphones, for example. I'll just take you through a couple of areas just to show you. This is another site, Rushbasa, who also now happen to sell headphones. These guys are another Australian mob. Again, their site is very clean looking. It only uses limited colour palette, so it's got red, green and black as its main colour palette. And then the rest of the colour comes through with all the product images. Again, they operate on a grid system, so four across with this, and you'll see that translated through the rest of the site. I'll just click on the shop headphones to go to the category so that we can compare. So this is a category page for Surf Stitch. They've got 4 products across. They've got these nice little hover overs which allow me to do a quick view, and the colour changes. So design's very important for usability. So the fact that the colour changes whenever I roll over means that it's an indication for the user that the site is alive, that something's happening. So these guys on Rushmaster, they've only got 3 across, but look how they use the colour. They don't do the rollovers like Surf Stitch, but they use colour to denote sale items, so that's quite a clever thing there. Again, look at the consistency of all the photos. Very, very consistent right across the board to the way the phones are laid out. So even though these are different manufacturers, so that's why I'm using that's by Urban Ears, Rushfaster, it looks like Rushfaster might have taken those photos to create a completely consistent experience. And you know that yourself, when you walk into a department store or even into a shopping supermarket, there are rows, there are columns, there are aisles all lined up, and everything's presented in a very similar way. Let's just go and have a look. So a couple of the other sites which ranked reasonably well. So headphones is one, and there was another one down here, headphones for sales. Now, these guys will be getting a lot of traffic because buy headphones will be generating a reasonable amount of traffic, but have a look at the style. So this looks like a very old site. I'm not sure exactly where the products are, but if I was to go in, I've found it here, so the product's here. So here's their category page, and then I've got to work out to click on one of these, and then here I am again. So again, these guys are using a grid view, but it looks like I've actually gone into a shopping cart now. But compare the colours between the sites. So this green, the red and the black are very saturated colours. They're very dense colours. This blue, whilst it's a light colour, is still a very saturated colour. It's a very dense colour, and then it's offset by the white and the black. And then compare with a sort of a muddy green or khaki green. I won't be mean, it's a khaki green, and then this sort of orangey, beigey, tan colour. Those aren't bright, saturated colours that really come out. The other problem these guys have got is they've got this light beige colour on a light green colour. So if you contrast your text with black text on white writing, that's the most readable text. Whereas having a sort of a light colour and a light colour makes it quite difficult to read. And for me, this font's too small. I've got, I've got reasonable eyesight, but I find that quite hard to read. Whereas going back to these guys, you can see that the font's much bigger and it's just black on white. And let's go and have a compare with these guys. So these guys, it's a little bit hard to read, but because the rollover is white on black, it still makes it easier to read. These guys, although they're ranking better in the search engines for the keyword buy headphones, whereas these guys have got to pay for it and these guys aren't ranking at all, these guys will be getting, Headphonic will be getting a lot of visits for it, but I wonder how many they're actually converting. So, they look like they know their topic. There's one post here that sort of says, there's one description here that says, there are better choices for the price or less. I mean, that line there just made me think, well, why are you selling something that's, you don't actually really recommend? So these guys look like they're, full-on headphone nerds. They know what they're talking about. But if you look at the design just looks less professional and therefore, less trustworthy. So a very polished design creates trust. The other thing to have a look at is the images. So this image here, you can click on it and it, gives you a slightly larger version. But if we were to go and have a look at the images for these guys, this is a massive part of running an online store, is making sure that you've got some really fantastic images, very big images, very clear. There's obviously been a lot of Photoshop work done on those to make them look so super good. And these guys as well, they offer a larger view as well, but so you can really see some detail in the headphones and what you're getting. Whereas these guys, you can't really see any detail. So do I want to buy those? I might, if I was looking for that particular brand. I might buy from these guys, but the site looks old. It doesn't look like it's been updated for a while, although this is kind of a trendy heading here with all the animation going through. These guys also, headphones for sales, they show up in the first page of Google, so you can see here they're showing up down here in that position there. But you can see, I think you can instantly see that this is a really budget website. They've photoshopped this girl into just blank air, and she's got Bose written backwards. The logo, this is a really old font. Headphones for sales, it's not sitting properly. The beige background, and then we've got sort of different colour blues. This light blue on a white background's really hard to read. And then, the actual product pages, again, sort of poorly constructed. So, it just looks very budget. So if you want to encourage people to buy, the design plays an important role in that the first thing people do when they come into the site is they want to actually examine the product. Just like when you walk into a shop, you want to have a really close look at that product. You want to get a quick view of what it is. You want to be able to see all the items that you want to look at. You want to have a really big picture to have a really close look. And then you want lots of good content down here. But the first impression is the design. So if we just go back to the home pages of each of these sites, I'll just show you what I mean. This guy, that's his home page there. The first impression, these are happy, healthy young people. It's an affluent looking page. The colours are beautiful. It's all very neatly laid out to a grid. Same with these guys, very bright colours. There's no people pictures in here, but the products themselves look innovative and they look brand new. They look like modern images. Whereas this website, it just looks a bit old, with this sort of iconography or cartoons. 20-day trial, that's nice. It's nice, but what about that 20-day trial? So there's a common language and a common sort of design aesthetic that's coming out through online stores at the moment. And if you keep your store up to date and you make sure that the design is modern, then it will inherit trust. So there's inherent trust placed in good design. So it's important to get a designer that can actually design well, and then and also someone who's modern, who can design for your audience. So I hope that was helpful. Bye.